Now, the rest of the story. Jerry Garton's jaw dropped when that voice came over the airport control tower loudspeaker saying, "Tower, this is 2387 Mike. The pilot is unconscious and I don't know how to fly." Jerry Garton, air traffic controller at Fairbanks International Airport, responded immediately to the voice on the emergency frequency. "Aircraft on 121.5, can you hear Fairbanks Tower?" The voice answered loud and clear. And so began a real-life drama in the skies over our 49th state the afternoon of September 7, 1980. Single-engine Piper had taken off only minutes before from a small airstrip 2 miles northeast of Fairbanks. The pilot, 40-year-old John Chalupnik, was an engineer with the Alaska Department of Transportation. He had only one passenger aboard. Pilot John had complained of a terrible headache and then had lost consciousness. His passenger had tried to revive him, but failing in that, had switched the radio to the emergency frequency and had called for help. Controller Garton already had his hands full with other air traffic, so a colleague, Chris Johansson, stepped in. A few questions and the situation was clear. The worst of it was that even if the passenger could fly, the plane's unconscious pilot was stuck in the pilot's seat and his feet on the rudder control pedals. No, the pilot could not be moved, and still Controller Johansson would attempt a talk down. Well, the passenger quickly learned how to use the stick and the throttle to keep the Piper level, then to maneuver in the most rudimentary ways. "I want you to go south of the airport," said Johansson. "Make a shallow turnaround and line up on the long runway." Under the circumstances, the most Johansson could hope for was to bring the little plane in low enough and slow enough to minimize the effects of the almost inevitable crash. Now, let the airplane come down. Bring the power back slowly, all the way back now. Keep your wings level, nose up. To the right a little, to the right just a little, just a little. Now hold the stick all the way back. You know, it was a better landing than anybody had anticipated. A better landing. The Piper rolled forward, veered off the runway into the grass. The pilot, John Chalupnik, still unconscious, was rushed to the hospital, and the courageous passenger, shaken and shaking, was otherwise all right. By the way, the passenger was Joan Chalupnik, the pilot's wife. And here's the thing. Joan and her husband would surely have been killed that afternoon, 28 years ago, almost to the day. That is, their plane would certainly have crashed had Joan not known how to operate the radio and then how to tune in the emergency frequency, 121.5, but she did know how, because she'd taken a so-called pinch-hitter course designed to familiarize non-pilots with basic aircraft controls and flight procedures, and she had taken that course. She had taken it from Chris Johansson, the same air traffic controller who talked her down. And now you know. Oh, one thing more, Joan had taken that course the day before. The day before. And now you know the rest of the story.